Good morning. I'm on my way to teach a sociology class and indoctrinate some impressionable young youth into the favor way of thinking about addiction. I have a diabolical scheme to let the next generation know all there is to know about addiction and recovery, how it really works, a glimpse behind the curtain. One class at a time, one student at a time, one teenager at a time. All right. Actually, what I wanted to do, I don't know if you noticed last night, I was doing the family group and I posted it, and I'm a technological fool. I posted it and it literally appeared sideways. I appeared sideways in the camera. I have no idea why it happened. I have no idea how to make sure it doesn't happen in the future. But what I wanted to do was take a minute and talk to families. Because I didn't put the post up, I wanted to give you some takeaways from the group last night. And we were talking about boundaries. And we were specifically talking about what gets in the way of family members when they have difficulty setting boundaries. I mean, we operate in life a lot of times and we just sort of tell people what to do. Kick him out. Stop paying the rent. Don't pay for him to go back to college. Come on. You're the world's worst enabler. You know, this type of mentality, you know, as if it's that easy to start making some of these changes if you're kind of like handling things poorly with your child, if you think you're handling things poorly in these situations with addiction. It's never as easy as just do it. Just change. But that's how we kind of talk to people. What we were talking about last night at group was, you know, what's behind some of the reluctance to set the boundaries. And we came up with 4 different things. And the biggest one, without question, fear. This issue of addiction, especially in today's world where, you know, overdoses are so common and you have these monster drugs, fentanyl and carfentanil. Fear is an underlying issue. How can you confront that fear and, you know, talk to somebody that you trust, talk to a group you trust, talk to a therapist you trust to try to walk through a little bit of that fear, and don't set boundaries from a place of fear. It will keep you paralyzed. The second thing that we talked about was a need to be loved, a need to be liked, for everyone to be accepted. So you have trouble saying no to situations, you have trouble setting boundaries because you don't want people to be upset with you. You know, basically, discord and conflict is a bad thing. I can relate to that one. And getting in touch with why you're like that and some insight into your behavior can help you get through number 2. Number 3 is just straight up guilt. I'm just guilty. It's my fault. I contributed to this problem somehow, some way. What I say about that one is write about that. Journal about guilt. And what you're going to find is if you read your journal articles on guilt, you're going to find out that you really have no reason to be guilty, that it's your brain playing tricks on you. And then the final one is people just wear you down. You want to set the boundary. This is probably really, really common. You want to set the boundary. You want to say no to the person, but they just wear you down with relentless debate. They badger you until you give in and say yes. And the remedy to that is hit and run. Give the information, set the boundary, and get the heck out of Dodge. Don't have the conversation whenever they can hold you hostage. Don't buy the hype. All right, so this is a special one for families. Apologize about family group. I promise we're going to get this right. As true as I'm sitting here in this car, eyes firmly fixed on the road, driving to school, we will find a way to bring the technological expertise and the production quality and a platform where you're actually going to be able to access this information better. Last night was ridiculous. It was sideways. You would have had to watch it like this. What the hell was that? I blame Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg is out to get me. Zuckerberg's out to get me.